just wanted to do a quick video on coming up with down payments when on your next rental property when you're short on cash. Because this is a situation I was in 9 years ago. I bought my first rental property. It's all good because I took a few years. I diligently saved a ton of cash. Well, a bit of cash, not a ton. In my mind, it took a long time to come up with the cash, about 3 years. And I cut expenses to do that. But I just bought my next rental property and wanted to buy more. I wanted to buy the next rental property. Now, how do you do that within a year and you're short in cash? This is the video for you if you're interested to know the 3 creative strategies that I've used to buy my rental properties over the years. Now, the first strategy involves buying a rental property that you can move into. Now, why would I say that? Well, because you would only need 5% down payment. That's assuming, of course, that it's under $500,000. Because if it's over $500,000, you have to put in 5% for the first 500, then 10% down payment, anything over 500 grand. That difference, that delta, that's over $500,000. Let's keep it simple. You're going to go buy a next rental property that you can see yourself living in for 6 months, a year, and it's under $500,000. You come up with your 5% down payment. You go and move in. You do a bit of renovations, bit of updates, or not. I did in the past. I moved into the rental property, did a bit of updates, and then I converted it into a rental property because I drove up the income, the rental income, because I did the updates, and it drove the rental income and all the numbers crunched out, and I was able to move out, convert it to a rental property. Now, you don't have to do the same thing. You could go buy a duplex or a triplex, and you could actually have tenants pay down your mortgage while you're living in the investment property. Now, this is all really good stuff, but I really want to also show you the reality of this. The reality is that if you move into a duplex or triplex, you're living with tenants, you're sacrificing a bit of space. That may not be what you want. So you always got to figure out that it needs to align to your lifestyle. The other thing is, if you have kids, it's really tough. You have a family and your kids probably already starting to go to school or about to go to school or in a school that they really like. They love the neighborhood. You like, they have their set of friends. So it's going to be really hard to continue on this as you start growing a family. And also, of course, CRA is not going to like this. They're going to figure out that you're doing this as a business. So it's okay for the first 1 or 2 properties to do this, move into investment property, then move out, rinse and repeat. Or you could do this like several years, rinse and repeat. But it gets tough as you grow a family. So it leads me to the second strategy that I've also used, which is using other people's money. And that simply is just introducing an investor who could be a cash partner, ideally a cash partner, and you've defined roles and responsibilities between the two of you. And this cash silent investor is really a joint venture partnership. And the great thing about it is doesn't require very much of your cash to buy the property because this investor is leveraging your skill set. Your skill set is you know how to find a rental property, you know how to crunch out the numbers, you know how to manage, oversee the property, get the right tenants, make sure you have the right agreements, do all the due diligence to protect and make sure that rental property cash flows and generates wealth, of course, for both of you. Now, the downside to introducing a partner is that it is like a marriage. You need to make sure that partner is the right fit for you. You don't want to be in a situation where you do not want to talk to this partner because you feel uncomfortable. You can't even have a lunch with this partner. You can't even have a beer with this partner because you feel so uncomfortable. This is not what you want. You need to make sure, again, it aligns to your lifestyle. You need to make sure that this partner you can have it for at least 5 years because that's going to be how long it takes to make sure that the rental property generates wealth for both of you and gives you a bit of income. Now, if joint venture partners are not right for you, you're not interested in that, then I'm going to introduce the third strategy which I've used, which is using equity out of your own home. So I'm assuming that you've lived in your own home for years. You've create a bit of equity into your own home Now you can use it to deploy and buy your next investment property. Now, the advantage to this is that it really requires very little actual cash from your bank account, assuming you have enough equity to cover the conventional down payment for investment property is 20%. Assuming you have that all covered in your equity, then that's great. That's awesome. Go find their next rental property that cash flows enough, and this is key, that cash flows enough, has enough rental income that will not only cover the mortgage, the interest, and the wear and tear and the property taxes, and gives you a bit of income, but also covers your equity payments in your own home, meaning your HELOC, because you took a home equity line of credit out of your own home to buy that next investment property. And this is super key. Don't be in a situation where you buy a next rental property and you only considered all the property taxes, mortgage payments, and interest and all that, and then realize you're short on your HELOC, because you don't want to be in that situation. And you don't want to be stretched too thin too. So the con to this is that make sure you are not stretched too thin, and that in a couple of years when the interest rates go up, you are covered. So again, just summarizing, here are the 3 key strategies. You can go move into your next rental property and come up with 5% down payment. Second strategy, go find some joint venture partners who can leverage your skill set, but make sure that you have the right partner, because you don't want to be working with someone that you don't see as a right fit, and the roles and responsibilities are not defined, because it is like a marriage. Third strategy is using your own equity, which is great. Just make sure that all the numbers crunch out and that next rental property, the rental income, covers all the expenses, including your HELOC, and still generates a bit of income, and you're not stretched too thin with those payments. So hopefully you find this video very helpful. If so, give me a thumbs up and subscribe below. See you next time.